bad Sherlock Holmes novel. So on the left here is a picture of the marine current turbine CGen. This is a surface-piercing tidal turbine. The top part here contains all of its service platform and electronics. Below the water surface, there's this pair of rotors on a crossarm. You can see them raised up here. It's operated in Northern Ireland since 2008. You can see it's driven into the seabed with a 3-meter diameter pile. Relatively large device, occupies a lot of the water column. Now in Strangford Lough, back when CGen was being commissioned in 2008, there was a lot of concern over exactly what would happen when harbor seals encountered this device. And there were 3 risk factors where people were really concerned about impacts. Now again, when you talk about impacts, that's a change that's crossed that threshold of biological significance. So people assume that we'd be in the impact space immediately. And the reason for this was the activity of harbor seals in Strangford Lough. They both forage and transit out to the Irish Sea. There's a beautiful study that was done where they tagged all of these seals and basically created tracks and discovered that seals actually go most of the way across the Irish Sea, which they didn't expect. The scale of the project was important. There's actually a relatively large amount of the water column in Strangford Lough that's swept by these rotor blades. And these rotor blades are moving at relatively high velocity, and there is the potential for seals to come into contact with the tip. So there is a real mechanism there for risk to injury or mortality. So the conclusion for this was that we shouldn't be studying how the turbines interact with harbor seals. We should be mitigating that risk before the project goes in the water. And so the solution to this was a post-installation blade strike mitigation measure, which said shut down the turbine when harbor seals are within X meters of the device. Okay, it's a strategy. There's 2 problems with this. How do you tell when a harbor seal is X meters away from a turbine? Well, after the regulators and the company had gotten done deciding that this is what they were going to do, then the engineers got let loose on this problem.